Ooh, wow. Good morning, guys. How are we doing? Okay. This is very quick, very easy, okay? I'm trying to reform all of the roles, permissions, and everything so that everything just needs to be set in a way that makes sense for people to do their jobs, all right? This idea of people like are mod or have roles because they're either like cooler than someone else or not cooler or friends, whatever needs it. This is started and it needs to stop. Okay. So we're reforming some so that the people that are modded in areas are supposed to be in areas they're modded. You don't have random people banning people from random other areas or trying to like, okay, that's all that's happening. All right. That's it. All right. Please fix r/daliban. It's trash now. I don't mod or do anything with that subreddit at all. So I have no idea. You retards don't understand that he's saying Forethought wins. Forethought does not win. Forethought is losing his mod in the Discord and in the chat because he shouldn't have it because he's not moderating either of those positions. But he is moderating the subreddit. Or mod the Discord actually? Not anymore. Okay. Okay. Who's modded DGG now? The bear is always lurking. The bot is there, and I'm here to ban you if I don't like you. I think we have two residual Twitch mods. I think Lemmy and Ken, I think. Do you like Forethought? I love everybody. I unmodded some people in the subreddit. I don't know if they were actively modding or not, but I figure if they were important, then somebody will ask for them to be brought back. That's what I figure. So I think I need to remod the Destiny bot thing though. Hold on, doing that. Did you unmod Hobbit follower? I did because I don't remember who he is. He might have modded though. But like I said, listen, people, if people are modding, then I'm sure they'll ask to be brought back. What's interesting? Orange and Checkmark. Orange is supposed to be an active broadcaster, and I think Checkmark is supposed to be verified. I need to go through and read, like, analyze the fucking flares too. The one thing I want to get off of is I'm tired of this fucking like different flares means that you're like either cooler or not cooler or friends or not friends. It's like the stupidest. It's like the most lame shit in the world. So I just need to have the flares need to be set up correctly. But I'm talking to Cake about like redoing some of these and rolling some of these into other things. So what about Cyber Vegan? Is he completely gone? He hasn't chatted since the election stream. I don't think so. I don't know. Has anything happened to him? I haven't heard anything that happened negative to him. Okay, good one. Okay. I am the sole moderator of DGG chat. There you go. We can do that too. That works. What? Oh, sorry. Hold on.
I'll tell you one thing, chat. You can see here who has the strong propaganda machines. You can see what countries has the strong propaganda machines. Most of the Nordic countries has a stronger propaganda machine than Russia. That is something to think about next time you see the news. And it can't even be denied, no. I'll tell.
Okay.
One of the ways it's genuinely different is that he now has a kind of coterie of oligarchs, including the richest man in the world, who have kissed the ring, worked to get him elected, and are now apparently going to be running America. Now,
nobody had a problem when all the billionaires were doing that for the Democrat politicians. Nobody had a problem about that. But somehow we're supposed to act like this is a problem now? Get the fuck out of here. It's been happening forever. And how do you know that it was billionaire Democrat influence that was involved? Well, it's simple. It's because...
Wait, what?
One of the ways it's genuinely different is that he now has a kind of coterie of oligarchs, including the richest man in the world, who have kissed the ring, worked to get him elected, and are now apparently going to be running America. Now,
nobody had a problem when all the billionaires were doing that for the Democrat politicians. Nobody...
Who, when, where, how? Can I just say two things? That's, you know what? Two things. One, I think we can say that AmsonGold is a political streamer, which is kind of funny because 2 means that Hassan is only the second largest streamer now for politics on Twitch.
Nobody had a problem about that. But somehow we're supposed to act like this is a problem now. Get the fuck out of here. It's been happening forever. And how do you know that it was billionaire Democrat influence that was involved? Well, it's simple. It's because Bernie Sanders isn't the president right now.
Okay, we're gonna bring this around. It's gonna come around. This is gonna make sense. This is gonna make a lot of sense, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the proof.
This is a model that's actually familiar across the world. It's pioneered and perfected by strongmen like Viktor Orban in Hungary and Recep Erdogan in Turkey, and of course, Vladimir Putin in Russia. All of these rulers have their little crew of corporate and industrial titans who often hold no official government titles, but do the work of the regime in ways large and small, legitimate and otherwise, in return for their access and special privileges, including squeezing the state coffers to line their own pockets. As the Atlantic's Franklin Foer puts it, the regime does the bidding of the billionaires. And
this is one of the tricks that media does, is they write articles that are inaccurate or problematic, and then they cross-reference each other to create the semblance of authenticity or authority. So like they use each other for references, and they're like, well, he said it, and then I'm referencing back to this article that was written here. But the fact is that it's bullshit in a lot of cases. Like I think like Black Myth Wukong, like the example like that before is just like it. I'm not saying that this is like
Remember Gamergate? Okay.
Exactly what it is. The regime does building of billionaires, and in turn the billionaires do the bidding of the regime. Sure, of course this happens. Yeah, definitely. Right? The unique danger of a Trumpist oligarchy, complete bullshit. Absolute complete bullshit. Do you really think all the other billionaires are giving do you think that they gave all the other candidates money because they like them? And this is the thing, right? It's like a misrepresentation that's then referred back to as an authority.
turn the billionaires do the bidding of the regime.
Yeah.
Power grows ever more concentrated.
This is why you need to, guys, when you're watching these alternative media people, you have to ask for examples. Like, give an example of this. Like, when you say that George Soros, because that's who he's referring to, right? When George Soros is doing improper things, like what? Give me an example. What are we talking about? Like, what are these horrible things that they're doing that's even remotely close to the level of influence that Elon Musk has given to Trump?
Traded as the owners and the corrupt leaders conspire to protect their mutual hold on it. In short order, this arrangement has the potential to deliver a double blow to the American system. It can undermine capitalism and erode democracy all at once.
Eroding democracy is when you lose the vote.
I don't think that's what he's complaining about. My guess is, if this is 7 hours ago, is he's probably complaining about the fact that Elon Musk, who is the richest man in the world, who's controlling a social media platform that was like openly pro-Trump and supporting Trump, is now in calls with the president-elect with foreign leaders. That's probably what he's talking about, not just losing the vote, but...
And you may say, and you would be right, that corporate titans have always had a lot of political power, certainly from the little guy in America. But really, this is completely different from anything we've seen before.
How? I'm sorry, but like, how? What about super PACs and all these other things? This has been going on.
He doesn't know what a super PAC is, guaranteed.
On forever.
Just look at Elon Musk.
I'm not just MAGA. I'm Gothic MAGA. America's just not just going to be great. America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing. Massive, crushing victory. Get everyone, friends, family, people on the street. Put the signs up. Put the hat on. Let's go.
The wildly charismatic billionaire, rocket, and electric car magnate.
What a shit talker, man. Oh my God. What a shit talker.
$130 million of his own wealth to get Trump elected. Yeah. That alone is unheard of. I mean, as far as we have records of, no one's ever done that before.
Didn't the Kamala Harris super PAC have like $17 billion or something like that? I mean, like...
What the money that an entire super PAC raises is not even, it's not even the claim that this guy just made. He just claimed that no individual on record has ever donated that much wealth individually to get a candidate elected before. Why are you citing the entire amount of money that a super PAC might have raised? Also, I have no idea how much money was even spent over the last election cycle. 17 billion? That sounds high. How much money was spent in 2024 election cycle? $16 billion will be spent in the entirety of the 2024 election cycle. In the entirety. I'm guessing this is from both sides for all races, is my guess here.
I don't know. I mean, and this is the problem. Like, yeah, like look at George Soros, other people like this. Like, what are we talking about?
What are you talking about? What has George Soros done? Like, what's an example? Like, what's an example?
Like, The problem is that anybody can see that the government is bought and paid for. It's obvious. Okay. You know it, I know it, everybody knows the government's rigged. But you're not going to gaslight people into thinking this is oh wow, now it's rigged. It's been rigged, and you were defending it, but now you're not because it's not rigged in your favor. That's it. Harris got 3 times the money Trump.
Waiting for an example. Waiting for an example. They're going to be here. It's coming.
Yeah, exactly. It's pay to win. Yeah.
Musk also...
Listen to what he just said.
Harris got 3 times the money Trump did. Yeah, exactly.
Harris just got 3 times the money Trump did.
It's pay to win. Yeah.
It's pay to win. Yeah. Those two statements directly contradict each other. It's just like, this is emotivism. This is what we're doing. It's just like, we're just saying things that are like pegged to an emotion. None of them like logically makes sense. Like, what?
Musk also bought Twitter for $44 billion and drove its value into the ground. I mean, essentially setting half that money on fire, like $22 billion worth of value.
I love how the quote of Elon Musk is such a stupid asshole. He bought Twitter for $44 billion, and now he only controls all 3 branches of government. Yeah, it's crazy how, he used this as a weapon to effectively change the outcome of an election. It is the most powerful media tool probably in the world right now. And somehow the way that you're grading its viability is about how much somebody would buy it for.
Yeah. Oh, God, he's actually so fucking stupid. Holy shit, he's a fucking retard. When people are valuing the business that you buy, they're not typically thinking of it as, well, you could use it as a subversive tool of propaganda to gain like illegitimate control over the state. That is correct. Yes, that's how it goes. When you buy a firm, you're usually thinking in terms of valuation of like, what can you sell the firm for in the future? It is indeed. That's like saying, oh, this guy spent $55 billion buying a firm that develops like a super secret sniper rifle, and it's only going to sell for like $2 billion in the future. What a bad buy. And it's like, oh, but what you didn't know is he was going to use a sniper rifle to like assassinate world leaders. Oh, I guess it was a good buy then. No, obviously that's not what people are thinking when they're valuing Twitter. They're not thinking of, oh, he's going to use this as an actual like propaganda arm of one of the campaigning people to control the entire government. Jesus.
It's just like such a one-dimensional way of thinking.
Never mind. Okay.
In order to turn the social media platform into a right-wing propaganda machine to get Donald Trump elected.
Again, like from anybody on social media, like I'm not going to look at what Elon Musk did with Twitter. Also, Twitter is not a right-wing propaganda machine. There are tons of people that are left-wing that are posting on.
The owner is literally a supporter of the right wing. He literally commandeered the @America account to promote the right-wing talking points to get Donald Trump elected. And he literally, the owner of the platform, literally retweets other right-wing accounts. Like, if this isn't a right-wing platform, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you think AmsonGold was one of the people pissing and shitting and cumming themselves whenever there would be a person would post something like, I think Jewish space lasers are destroying our DNA, and they get banned, or they're like, oh, left-wing moderation, oh my God, left-wing, oh my God, the left-wing censorship media, like, Jesus.
Wing propaganda machine to get Donald Trump elected.
Again, like from anybody on social media, like I'm not going to look at what Elon Musk did with Twitter. Also, Twitter is not a right-wing propaganda machine. There are tons of people that are left-wing that are posting on Twitter, and they can post basically whatever they want. The fact is that Twitter is an open space for people to have opinions. That's it. It is? No, it's not. What happens if you follow a bunch of left-wing people? Well, then you're going to get their opinions instead. That's what happens.
You do know that like Elon's account in and of itself has like an artificial boost on like its tweets, right? If we are to believe what Twitter employees say, and the fact that you get them spammed like fucking crazy to you every time you log onto that.
Not like when Elon Musk took over, he went and banned Bernie Sanders. That's not how it works. I see far left opinions all the time. So do I, constantly.
And it kind of worked. Mm-hmm. And not just to get Trump elected, but to make the world's richest man even richer.
How do you feel about right-leaning, non-political content creators being much more willing to express their political opinions and endorsing candidates versus big left content creators avoiding politics for fear of alienating their audience? I've gone over this a lot now. Is that the right wing, because they have a cult, it's just so much more easy to roll people into it. And there's so much acceptance, there's so much support. It's just like there's such a huge incentive and reward structure there for kind of like becoming part of the right-wing cult, right? You support Daddy Trump, now you've got a whole bunch of new fans, a whole bunch of people that are thumbs-upping and, approving of you and supporting you. It's just like,
Tesla among this week's biggest gainers on the S&P, up nearly 20%, fueled, of course, by the president-elect's victory. That surge resulting in a windfall for Elon Musk, who now has a net worth of $290 billion.
I mean, you see, right? You don't have to be like super sophisticated to see how like wildly corrupt this could be. Trump isn't even...
I do. I think it could be corrupt. It absolutely could be. And I think.
Remember what I said before, though? The reason why these people are willing to accept this, and he's about to say it, is, yeah, it is corrupt, just like it's always been corrupt, right? If your mindset is that all of this stuff has always been corrupt, these people have always been like criminals and crooks, then of course it's easy to accept anytime somebody is actually like a criminal or a crook, right? Like it's easy to accept that.
I think in some cases it is. But the problem is that you're not going to get any sympathy from people when this has been something that's been going on forever.
Like, there it is, yeah. It hasn't been going on forever. You just don't know anything. You just have no history understanding. You have no concept of what goes on in the media. You don't even know what a super PAC is. You don't know what any of this is. But you're like, oh yeah, this has been happening forever. No, it hasn't. Nothing like this has ever happened in the history of the United States of America. Well, I can't think of it. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's even remotely close to this. I can't think of anything that's remotely close to this. Like, Twitter has become like RT. Like, it's just insane.
Citizens United was codified into law before Trump was even around.
You don't know what that case was about. You don't know what it does. You don't know what a super PAC is. Like, kill me.
So
dude.
what are we talking about? How Elon Musk is some kind of like unique danger? It's outrageous. Yeah, you lost the game, bro. Like, yeah, you lost the game. That's it.
Hasn't yet, but the mere fact he will be has investors flocking to invest in Elon Musk companies because Musk is close to the press. They know. In fact, they probably saw the Trump family photo from Mar-a-Lago celebrating the day after the election, a family photo that, interestingly, doesn't include Melania Trump, who I think is...
Twitter and YouTube literally had the president banned off their platform. Do you know how long it took them to ban him? And they banned him because he was inciting violence, which all the Republicans, by the way, even the Republicans agreed to, and all of your hack conservative commentators agreed to before they realized that Trump was still going to remain popular in the party. So yeah, they did ban him for breaking the rules. That's how it's supposed to go. Yes.
Donald Trump's wife the last time I checked. But there's Elon Musk. He gets the friends and family discount now. And while he's sitting on...
I don't get it. So like now this
we know, we understand, yeah.
Is some kind of, because the media is attacking him because they're losing power to Twitter. It is. Twitter is a direct threat to establishment media because it's a bigger platform than any establishment media. It's worldwide and it's effectively completely open. So the ability that, like, I've always thought that media has actually always been corrupt. It's just that we didn't know it until we got the internet and we could really see what happens behind the curtain.
It's so crazy how retarded the internet has made all these fucking morons. Oh my God, it's actually crazy to me. The false sense of grandeur that you think you know so much because you sit there and you spam watch fucking Tim Pool and Alex Jones. You're like, oh my God, this is reality? This is crazy. Like, these are the same people that would have been talking to you about Bat Boy because they were buying the National Enquirer when they were sitting in line at Walmart. Holy shit.
I think media has always been extremely corrupt. It's just that now we have the tools to perceive it. Mainstream media is dying. Yes, it is dying, and Twitter is pulling the plug. That's what I'm saying. Twitter is the main place that people get information. Bigger than any of them combined? Yeah, exactly. So this is the reason why they're against Twitter and why they're trying to like make advertisers leave Twitter. It's because they want to maintain their position in the media economy. And Twitter is threatening that position in a direct way. Corrupt or biased? Why not both?
Billions of dollars of government contracts to the point where the U.S. space program has become largely dependent on him. Now he's going to be something approaching a kind of co-president.
A co-president. Wow. Who thought that? Oh, I guess. Yeah, they just invented that. Advertisers are leaving on their own because it's a cesspool. I don't think that's true. I think that media and
oh my God. And he's even slurping up the Elon load about how advertisers are just leaving the platform because they're colluding against him. They don't like him. Kill me, bro.
Advertisers create an expectation, and also advertisers probably don't.
Yeah, the expectation that there are going to be like open Nazis and like anti-Semitic, crazy racist black people fighting videos that are getting 50,000 likes and retweets like every other fucking day on the platform.
I think that media and advertisers create an expectation, and also advertisers probably don't want to have Twitter owned by Elon Musk either. And so what happens is that advertisers, by withholding funding and not putting funding out there, what they do is they create soft speech requirements where it's like, well, you can't have these opinions, you can't say these things, you can't even allow other people to say these things, because if you do, we're going to take away the money we give you, and we're going to use this as leverage to get you to compel speech. Like, that's basically what happens. And I know that there are some people that are happy about this and they're like, oh, that's good. It's not good. It's not good when Elon Musk does it. It's not good when they do it either. I don't want to have some multi-billion-dollar company that has a fiduciary responsibility to make as much profit as possible trying to be the arbiter of what can and can't be said. That's insane. Of course not.
Okay. Good takes. What is this? This keeps getting spammed. I haven't watched it before. This better not be cringe. I feel like it's going to be cringe.
This is the story of how the world's richest person, the owner of Tesla
Is this cringe or?
and X, bought the global town square, then corrupted it before using his immense wealth to help elect a convicted felon. April 14, 2022. Elon Musk makes an unsolicited offer to buy Twitter for $44 billion. He claims the site has become politically skewed and says, for Twitter to deserve public trust, it must be politically neutral. October 27th, the deal goes through. The next evening, a far-right conspiracy theorist breaks into the San Francisco home of Democrat House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, intending to kidnap her. Pelosi is away, but the man attacks her husband Paul, hitting him repeatedly on the head with a hammer. Paul Pelosi escapes with his life, but requires surgery for a fractured skull. While most people take the chance to decry political violence, the new owner of Twitter, Elon Musk, posts a tweet sharing an entirely false claim that Paul Pelosi was in fact injured in a drunken fight with a male prostitute with whom he was involved. Musk includes a link to a false claim on a website that has a history of publishing conspiracy theories, including a story asserting that Hillary Clinton is dead and has been replaced by a body double. Musk's post is retweeted 24,000 times before he deletes it. November 18th, Musk's Twitter starts to unlock previously banned accounts. Misogynist far-right influencer Andrew Tate was permanently banned from Twitter in 2017 after urging women to, quote, bear some responsibility for rape. Now he's back. Tate posts, I've decided to fly to the failed state of California, walk into Twitter HQ, and tell @Elon Musk he's a legend. On my way. 2 months later, Tate will be arrested in Romania on suspicion of human trafficking, rape, and forming an organized crime group. December 8th, 3 members of Twitter's Trust and Safety Council resign. In their resignation letter, they cite research that found slurs against Black Americans and gay men jumped 195% and 58% respectively since Musk's takeover. 3 days later, the remaining members of Twitter's Trust and Safety Council are dismissed. Musk then tweets that, quote, my pronouns are prosecute Fauci, a reference to a conspiracy theory that the COVID crisis was exacerbated by America's top infectious disease doctor. December 16th, having claimed he's a free speech absolutist, Musk bans @ElonJet, a Twitter account that tracks the movements of his private jet using publicly available data. Musk also bans the accounts of a number of journalists who have written about @ElonJet. February 12th, 2023. Ahead of the Super Bowl, both Musk and President Joe Biden tweet their support for the Philadelphia Eagles. Biden's tweet is seen 29 million times. Musk's just 9.
Is this story like I know this story? I've heard this. Is this confirmed 100%? This story is crazy if this is actually true.
Philadelphia Eagles. Biden's tweet is seen 29 million times. Musk's just 9 million times. Incensed, Musk leaves the game early and calls an impromptu meeting of Twitter engineers at 2:36 a.m. Their job? To change the Twitter algorithm to artificially inflate the reach of Musk's tweets by a factor of 1,000, making him the preeminent presence on the site. July 23rd, Musk announces Twitter is now called X. August 25th, Donald Trump, once banned, returns to the platform by posting a picture of his mugshot from Fulton County Jail with the words, election interference, never surrender. Musk reposts the shot. 4 days later, X reverses Twitter's long-standing ban on paid political advertising. November 15th, in a post promoting the racist conspiracy theory that Jewish people are importing immigrants to America to fix elections for Democrats, one X user writes, Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Musk replies saying, you have said the actual truth. In response, several advertisers, including Disney, Warner Brothers, and Comcast, pause their advertising on X. Musk then tells advertisers concerned by hate speech on the platform,
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
So fucking soy. And then he files a lawsuit. Actually, I think that when the advertisers left, it's because they were colluding against me. Oh my god.
Is that clear?
Over subsequent months, Musk will become obsessed with the false claim that Democrats are allowing immigrants into America to create more Democratic voters, in effect, stealing the coming election, sharing the claim numerous times with his followers and pushing it to tens of millions more who choose not to follow him.
Why not just talk to AmsonGold? Aspen doesn't want to talk to me. Okay, there's no, yeah.
A year later, it will be revealed that Musk, a South African immigrant, worked illegally in the US in the 1990s. November 25th, on X, Musk boosts the Pizzagate conspiracy theory, a long debunked claim alleging high-profile Democrats ran a pedophile abuse ring from a Washington pizza restaurant. March 25th, 2024, Musk loses a lawsuit against the Center for Countering Digital Hate. He'd sued them after they flagged a rise in hate speech after Musk bought Twitter. In his ruling, a US district judge calls Musk's case vapid and says this case is about punishing the defendants for their speech. May 2024, Musk creates a political action committee which he calls America PAC. Its objective is to mobilize 1 million Republican voters in swing states in an effort to hand the election to Trump. Musk commits to putting tens of millions of dollars of his own money into the Get Out the Vote push and clears his calendar every Friday morning for 30 to 60 minutes to meet with the team he's assembled to run the effort. July 14th, Musk calls Trump on behalf of JD Vance, urging Trump to select Vance as his running mate. Vance says abortion is murder and insults women who haven't become mothers. Musk commits to putting tens of millions of dollars of his own money into the Get Out the Vote push and clears his calendar every Friday morning for 30 to 60 minutes to meet with the team he's assembled to run the effort. July 14th, Musk calls Trump on behalf of JD Vance, urging Trump to select Vance as his running mate.
Wait, is that true? I actually didn't even know that. A day before Donald Trump's deadline to pick a running mate after months of private conversations with every corner of his orbit, the former president took a call from a new voice. That person, Tesla billionaire Elon Musk, was one of several people urging Trump in the final moments to select Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. On Monday, Trump finally announced his choice. Vance would be his running mate. Oh, I didn't even know this. How Trump landed on Vance, a freshman senator from the heartland only half his age, is a story illustrative of the former president's showman instincts and chronic indecisiveness, a prolonged audition reminiscent of Trump's years as host of The Apprentice, a constant stream of rumors, many started by Trump himself. Fuck. There's like a whole thing that I need to read into relating to like Peter Thiel, JD Vance, like the crypto bros, because there's like a whole thing back here that I just haven't read into it at all. Jesus, that's kind of crazy. I was not aware of this at all.
Vance says abortion is murder and insults women who haven't become mothers.
A bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made.
Musk's phone call is part of a broad effort by Silicon Valley billionaires to ensure Vance is selected. The next day, Vance is unveiled as Trump's vice presidential candidate. September 6th, Trump says that if he wins, he will appoint Musk to head up a government efficiency commission.
And Elon, because he's not very busy, has agreed to head that task force.
The idea came from Musk, whose companies are currently facing at least 20 federal investigations. If he gets the role, it would give the world's richest man the power to regulate the regulators who hold sway over his companies. Last year alone, his companies were promised $3 billion across nearly 100 different contracts with 17 federal agencies. September 9th, Musk spreads a conspiracy theory that immigrants in Ohio are eating people's pets. The following day, Trump repeats the slur during the presidential debate with Kamala Harris.
Is this not as close to an oligarchy as you could get in the U.S.? Yeah, all of these connections are crazy. Like, even without getting into behind-the-scenes conspiratorial stuff, just outwardly, everything is crazy. Just the fact that Donald Trump was a real estate billionaire from New York who now has the help of the richest man in the world, who has purchased one of the largest social media brands in the world, who has used that social media brand to get Trump elected. Like, that in and of itself is just insane. Without getting into anything else that's openly known, and without getting into anything else that's been reported on behind the scenes, that's already like insane. Like, what's already been publicly stated is worse than any of the weird, crazy accusations the right has ever obsessively made about George Soros. Yeah. What do I have? Are these asthma dick suckers that are flooding my chat? Loving the conspiracies are okay if my name is Destiny and I'm a Democrat, or this is going to be awesome. Whole lot of bring on any of your little like dipshit fucking heroes to chat with me. None of what I say, the difference between me and you is none of what I say is conspiracy. It's all in the open. It's all reported on, and I can cite and source every single thing. The difference between me and you is that you're going to give me some random story from like the Daily Post Inquirer saying that like one unnamed source like talked about how Hillary Clinton revealed to him in a dream that George Soros was putting bugs inside of the microchips that Bill Gates was putting in your mRNA vaccines. Like, that's the difference, dog. You have no fucking idea what the fuck you're talking about. You are like willfully fucking retarded.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs.
The false claim leads to multiple bomb threats against the Springfield immigrant community. September 15th and 16th. Over a single weekend, Musk amplified the conspiracy theory that ABC leaked sample debate questions to the Harris campaign, falsely claims that the Dems want to take your kids, further fuels racist lies about immigrants eating pets, shares with his nearly 200 million followers on X that Trump must win to, quote, preserve freedom and meritocracy in America, and insinuates that it is suspicious that no one is even trying to assassinate Biden and Kamala, adding a thinking face emoji. The U.S. Secret Service confirms that it is aware of the post. The White House issues a statement saying violence should only be condemned, never encouraged or joked about. This rhetoric is irresponsible. October 4th, Musk posts, unless Trump wins and we get rid of the mountain of smothering regulations that have nothing to do with safety, humanity will never reach Mars. This is existential. Musk is the owner of SpaceX and stands to make billions from U.S. government space contracts. October 5th, the user handle @America is taken from an ex-user and given by Musk to his America PAC. That evening, he joins the former president on stage in Pennsylvania, jumping about wildly.
Fight, vote, vote, vote.
By now, he's moved with his senior team to a war room in a hotel in Pennsylvania to focus full-time on the Trump campaign. He speaks to Trump multiple times a week, is doing a series of pro-Trump town halls across the state, and has recruited lieutenants from his companies to join him. October 15th, legal filings from Musk's Political Action Committee show he has personally donated at least $75 million to the effort to re-elect Trump. October 18th, it's revealed that another Musk-funded group called Future Coalition PAC is targeting Muslim voters in Michigan and Jewish voters in Pennsylvania with diametrically opposed political advertisements about Kamala Harris. In areas with large Muslim populations, the group is painting Harris as a close friend of Israel and is suggesting that she's beholden to the beliefs of her Jewish husband. But in areas with large Jewish populations, the ads say Harris panders to Palestine. Simultaneously, Musk is offering $100 to any Pennsylvania voter who signs his online petition.
That whole 100 million, oh, she's probably going to go into it, or whatever, this $1 million to voters, by the way, all of that was a fucking lie. I think that's like the saddest, that's the most pathetic fucking thing to me. Like at least if you were to like simp for some dictator fuck, like if you were an Aryan master race Hitler guy, at least like Hitler's trying to supposedly like fight for the German people, but these guys are like fighting for you. You think that, and then they're shitting down your throat at the same time, and you're like happily eating all of it, right? This $1 million giveaway, I think somebody challenged this in court court as like, well, this is illegal because it's a lottery. And they won that because they're like, well, actually, it's not a lottery because we're not choosing people at random. We're just giving it to basically insiders and people that we already like, which is what they did. They pre-approved people and then they gave it to people that were basically already working with them. That's what this was. That's why it wasn't a lot. Like, this is ridiculous. And you guys will sit here and clap for this like soy seals. It's insane to me.
Part of an effort to build a list of likely Trump voters. He also starts giving away $1 million a day to a randomly chosen voter who signed the petition. October 19th, it's revealed that the Building America's Future PAC, another Musk-funded campaign group, is impersonating the Harris campaign by setting up a fake website containing fake policy positions.
Are 100% of the winners Republican? Oh, they're all the winners are pre-chosen. I don't know if she goes. Wait, Elon Musk lottery 1 million. Lawyers for America PAC and its director, Chris Young, said the group doled out the funds based on who would be the best spokespeople for its pro-Trump agenda, despite the billionaire's assertion that winners could be chosen randomly. This is how they defended themselves in court. So this wasn't given out at random. It was just given out to pro-Trump people that they chose beforehand, basically. Like, the fact that you fucking retards, like, will actually sit here and clap for this shit and pretend that Dems do anything even remotely similar to this is actually fucking insane. Yeah, here comes the spin from Destiny. I like how the spin from me is just reading the words of an article, but for you, the true facts are whatever retarded fucking tweets that you read because you can only hold 180 characters in your brain at one point in time. And trying to persuade, what is this, Foglietta? That the giveaway was not an illegal lottery, Musk's lawyers said the giveaway was not a prize, but rather compensation for those chosen to serve as spokespeople for America PAC's pro-Trump agenda. Young, America PAC's director, testified that he selected winners out of a pool of candidates who appeared in videos for the group and allowed it to use their images after reviewing their social media and meeting them outside event venues. John Summers, a lawyer for Krasner's office, said the admissions that the giveaway was not random made was not random, made it not just an illegal lottery, but also a fraud. If their story is true, Summers said in his closing argument, it's one of the greatest scams of the last 50 years. Summers showed the court a clip of Musk at an October 19th Trump rally saying America PAC would randomly award $1 million to people who signed the petition. In the video, Musk said, all we ask is that the winners serve as America PAC spokespeople. Young said that he was surprised to hear Musk describe the giveaway as random at the rally. He also acknowledged that the winners signed non-disclosure agreements preventing them from speaking about the terms of the contracts. If any of this was on the left, you guys would be losing your fucking mind. But then, like, you dipshits or Asman will read this. Oh, the left does this too. Oh, the left does the exact bullshit. They do the same thing. You're so wrong. If you don't know anything about it, just don't talk about it. Just don't say anything. Why do you contribute to the fucking destruction of my media environment? Go away. Go the fuck away. You don't know anything about this. Stop talking about it. Go away. Young said that he was surprised to hear Musk describe it as giveaway. The giveaway falls in a gray area of election law, and legal experts are divided on whether Musk could be violating federal laws against paying people to register to vote. The U.S. Department of Justice has warned America PAC that the giveaway could violate federal law, according to media reports, but federal prosecutors have not taken any public action. Anyway, but you guys love it. You love it when the Republicans do it. You love it.
Impersonating the Harris campaign by setting up a fake website containing fake policy positions, then sending out text messages driving voters to the fake site. October 24th, it's revealed that Musk gave his America PAC a further $44 million in the first 16 days of October. October 25th, the Wall Street Journal reports that Musk has been in regular contact with Russian President Vladimir Putin since 2022. October 27th, Musk speaks at the now infamous Trump rally at Madison Square Garden, a gathering characterized by racism, misogyny, and threats of violence.
USA! USA! Why?
Musk has posted more than 3,000 times on X in the last month, including dozens of unfounded claims about the election which have been viewed hundreds of millions of times. Apart from Trump himself, Musk is now the single biggest spreader of election disinformation. November 5th, Trump wins the presidential election. Elon Musk, a far-right conspiracy theorist, has succeeded in using his immense wealth to help swing the election in favor of a convicted felon.
Based. I'm sure Merrick Garland is looking into it, though. Don't worry. Why was I like this? He already reacted to you. Okay. Okay. Here.
A lot. I respect Destiny a lot. Destiny's changed my opinions about a number of things like January 6th. What is Kick? Kick is effectively a loss leader for stake. And I think that Elon Musk is using Twitter as a loss leader for Tesla and SpaceX by losing money on it to make more money by entrenching himself in the government. It exists in an ecosystem. And
that's called rent seeking, and it's bad. It's considered a bad thing. It's considered a bad thing in a liberal capitalist society when you're spending money not on research and development, on creating a better product, not on advertising insofar as trying to get your product in front of more people, but in spending money to alter the regulatory environment to give you a competitive edge. That's called rent-seeking behavior, and it's generally either illegal or highly discouraged because you don't want people spending money on shit just to have a more competitive to make their product seem more competitive by buying the government. By definition, you want to avoid that. Rent-seeking is bad behavior.
system. And I think that he knew that, and I think that's what happened. I see what he's saying.
Let's isn't there an Investopedia article on this? Rent seeking. There's a Wikipedia article. Okay. Corporate Finance Institute. What is rent seeking in economics, and what are some examples? Let's just read. Why not? Okay. Rent-seeking is defined as any practice in which an entity aims to increase its wealth without making any contributions to the wealth or benefit of society. It's typically done by manipulating the political environment and can result in social harm. A common example of rent-seeking is the act of lobbying for government-funded subsidies. Key takeaways. I don't even agree that I think that this is actually a really shit example given here. Lobbying can be forms of rent-seeking. Lobbying isn't necessarily a form of rent-seeking. This is a common example given, but I mean like, a guy that manufactures solar panels or windmills or whatever that wants to advertise it to people or get in front of a politician and say like, hey, I think that your constituents could benefit from blah, blah, blah. I don't necessarily know if you would consider that rent seeking. Well, actually, no, hold on, because you're still trying to influence politicians. I'll be 50-50 on that. I'm not actually sure. One second. Key takeaways. Rent-seeking is an economic concept that occurs when an entity seeks to gain wealth without making any contributions to the benefit of society. Rent in rent-seeking is based on the economic definition of the term, which is defined as an economic wealth obtained through shrewd or potentially manipulative use of resources. An example of rent-seeking is when a company lobbies the government for grants, subsidies, or tariff protection. Rent-seeking comes in many forms, from lobbying or donating funds. For example, if you donate money but write it off on your taxes, it could be considered a form of rent-seeking. How does rent-seeking work? The concept of rent-seeking was established in 1967 by Gordon Tullock and popularized by Ann Kruger in 1974. It evolved from the studies of Adam Smith, who is often regarded as the father of economics. The concept is based on an economic definition of rent, defined as economic wealth obtained through shrewd or potentially manipulative use of resources. Smith's studies suggested that entities earn income from wages, profit, and rent. To create profit usually requires the risk of capital with the goal of gaining a return. Earning wages comes from employment. However, rent is the easiest to obtain of the three income sources and can require little risk. Economic rent is the income earned from the utilization of resource ownership. Entities that own resources can lend them to earn interest rent, lease them to earn rental income, or utilize them in other income-producing ways. In general, the term economic rent has evolved to mean receiving a payment that exceeds the cost involved in the associated resource. Entities, therefore, will take rent-seeking steps to obtain economic rent that requires no reciprocal contribution of production. One example of rent seeking is when companies hire lobbyists to encourage the government to change regulations to make it easier for them to earn profits rather than try to spend time and money on improving their goods in the marketplace. I guess if you strictly consider this, if all lobbying is considered rent seeking, then I guess arguably not all rent seeking behavior would necessarily be bad then, I guess. I feel like I haven't usually heard in this term, but I guess in that case it could be. Because we can imagine forms of lobbying that can be good, and we can imagine forms of lobbying that can be bad. But I'm trying to think, imagine the government had a regulation that said that every single shirt sold is going to cost $10, and then you lobby the government to take away that tax. Would you consider that rent-seeking? Like if you're lobbying the government to reduce like a tariff or a tax, would that be considered rent-seeking behavior? I'm My understanding is typically no, but maybe it would be. Let's see what I guess. Rent-seeking factors and examples. Rent-seeking is a byproduct of political legislation and government funding. Politicians decide the laws, regulations, and funding allocations that govern industries and government subsidy distributions. These legislations and actions manifest rent-seeking behaviors by offering economic rent with little or no reciprocity. Business rent seekers. Business social service programs are typically designed to provide aid for businesses with the goal of fostering economic prosperity. For example, businesses such as banks can lobby the government for help in the areas of competition, special subsidies, grants, and tariff protection. If a business succeeds in getting laws passed to limit their competition, bail them out of economic hardship, or create barriers to entry for others, it can achieve economic rents without any added productivity or capital at risk. Are we spamming? Join what? Discord? Oh. Licensing requirements. Lobbying for the lessening of occupational licensing requirements is another very specific example of rent seeking. Doctors, dentists, airline pilots, and many other fields require licensing to practice. However, many U.S. states, this licensing process is expensive and time consuming. Often regulations exist due to past lobbying efforts from existing industry members. If certification and license obligations prevent newcomers from competing, fewer professionals may share the revenue. Thus, a more significant portion of money accrues to each existing member without additional economic benefit. Also, since limits to competition can be a driver for prices, consumers may be required to pay more. Issues arising from rent seeking. How much longer is this? Okay, we finished this. Rent seeking can disrupt market efficiencies and create pricing disadvantages for market participants. It has been known to cause limited competition and high barriers to entry. Those that benefit from successful rent seeking obtain additional or added economic rents without any added obligation. That can potentially create unfair advantages, specifically providing wealth to certain businesses that lead to greater market share at the detriment of competitors. Lastly, rent seeking wealth is typically a function of taxpayer funding. These tax revenues are used to provide economic wealth for rent seekers, but may or may not improve the economic climate or produce any benefits for taxpayers at large. This can lead to disparaging funds that lack regeneration and require higher taxes in the future. Is rent seeking illegal? In general, competition for rent is legal, regardless of any harm it may do to an economy. However, various rent seeking behaviors are illegal, such as the forming of cartels or the bribing of politicians. Why is rent seeking bad for the economy? Rent seeking can make markets less efficient by creating price disadvantages. Rent seeking behaviors can also create artificial bars to entry for new companies, stifling innovation. Are landlords rent seekers? Not generally. The use of the word rent can create some confusion here. The term rent in rent seeking is based on the economic definition of rent, which is defined as economic wealth obtained through shrewd or potentially manipulative use of resources. That said, it's possible for landlords to engage in rent-seeking behavior. Well, I'm curious if they're going to go by the broad definition that like all lobbying, for instance, is rent-seeking. I wonder why a landlord would not be considered a rent seeker. If they have property and they loan it to somebody else, basically, I guess they're deploying some capital for a risk to do it. Rent seeking is an economic concept that occurs when an entity seeks to gain wealth without making any reciprocal contribution of wealth to society. An example of rent seeking is when a company lobbies the government for grants, subsidies, or tariff protection. Rent seeking comes in many forms, from lobbying to donate or donating funds. For example, if you donate money but write it off on your taxes, it could be considered a form of rent seeking. Rent seeking interferes with the efficient operation of the free market, and it imposes unfair price barriers on individuals and companies. Damn, whoever wrote this, I just super disagree. So like, if you're spending money and basically the goal is like, let's say that I have a company, like I can envision two forms of behavior. I don't know if both would be considered rent seeking. Let's say that I make a car and I go to like a local mayor or like a state and I say, hey, you should make it so that only my cars can be sold in the state. And they're like, well, why is that? And you're like, well, because my cars have a special Nebraska sticker on them. Wouldn't that be cool? And then the mayor or the governor is like, okay, base, let's do that. And then they ban all the other cars. That's like a form of rent seeking. I can raise the price of my cars. I can do all sorts of shit. I've gained like a huge market advantage because I basically spent money or lobbied it in some way, and I'm not really doing anything to make my cars better. But let's say, for instance, let's say that it cost more money to ship lithium-ion batteries into the state because there was like a tariff on lithium-ion batteries. And I go to a mayor or a governor. I'm like, hey, there's a tax that makes us so we can't import lithium-ion batteries, and it's making all of our electric vehicles not competitive. Like, can we do something to like either forgive this tax just for electric vehicles or like get rid of this tax? And the person's like, okay, yeah, sure. You'd be creating technically a better environment, a better economic environment. You'd be reducing one of the barriers to entry. You'd be making a more competitive market. Like, would they consider that a form of rent seeking here? I feel like typically that wouldn't be considered rent seeking. I feel like the rent seeking behavior would be the other companies that have already basically enjoyed the lack of competition that's fostered by the banning of the imports, basically. But yeah, I'm not sure. This article might have a laissez-faire bias. It could, but Investopedia is typically pretty good. But regardless of whether or not, regardless of whether or not you consider all behavior rent-seeking or not, that's lobbying. If we are, if it's either way, the Twitter stuff is obviously rent-seeking, and that Elon Musk spent a whole bunch of money to gain an advantage in a way that doesn't help our economy. Whether or not you consider all lobbying rent-seeking or not, you can say that maybe all of it's rent-seeking and some of it's good, some of it's bad. The Twitter stuff would obviously be bad, right? Society's not being benefited or made better in any way by Elon Musk deploying Twitter for propaganda purposes. If Elon Musk has things that he can sell to the government, or things that he can produce for society, he should be able to do that in our environment. He shouldn't need to own the government to do that, right? None of these would all be examples of bad forms of rent-seeking. If we're to say some rent-seeking is good and some is bad, these would all be forms of bad rent-seeking, yeah. Will you chat with AmsonGold? I don't think AmsonGold will ever chat. I don't think he wants to talk to me. We've been in each other's orbits for a year or more, and he has never, so I don't think it's happening. But if he was shilling for Harris, it'd be the opposite point being made, I'm sure. What is it like for you to invent problems in your head and then get upset at them? What does that feel like? So when you're sitting around and then you think of I bet if this thing happened that wasn't happening, I bet you, and then you get mad about it. What does that feel like? What a horrible existence. I don't even know if this is an anti-me comment or a pro-me comment. The difference between AsmonGold and Destiny is that Destiny doesn't fold but doubles down. If Destiny said what Asmon said, he would do a research stream on why he's right instead of apologizing. I'm not looking for a fucking apology. What are you talking about? What? Who should be? Jesus Christ, what is this? Ah, nice. Yes. Reddit video.
And X bought the global town square, then corrupted it before using his immense wealth to help elect a convicted felon. April 14.
Oh god. Jesus Christ. Alright, let's play some games, shall we? Oh man, listen. The Cope brother. Cope?
The cope of he is. He is a convicted felon. That's not a cope. That's just a fact. This is where conservatives are at, right? That, you call it a cope to just state something that is actually true? Okay.
He was convicted? No, that's not what I mean. I meant it's just I don't like loud labels and things when it's for somebody that people don't like, and it seems to be only happening on one side. It's just kind of annoying.
Is Kamala a convicted felon? Destiny, it's showing the bias. That's his point. It's a bias to say that Donald Trump is a convicted felon? Well, excuse me, what do you mean? Explain what the felony was. The felony was that Donald Trump was falsifying business records to his employee and lying about payments he was making to pay off to kill a story that would have influenced the outcome of the election. That was what he got convicted on 34 counts in front of a jury in New York State. What do you mean? That's what the felony was for.
How is that a question mark? How is that a question mark? Okay. Here's an example. Okay. I could be wrong about this. I don't think I am. I'm pretty sure Joe Biden had...
Big stretch. It was to pay off the porn star. What do you mean, big stretch? It was a big stretch to kill the story because it was going to come out right during the elections. What do you mean? What's the stretch?
This is loud as fuck. Had like pro segregation and shit like that takes way early in his career.
Wait, what? Biden was pro. Are you talking about the busing stuff?
Right? Yeah, he did. Okay. Do people say, oh, dude, well, why would we elect a confirmed racist into the White House? Is that something that people do? Is that like is that a common occurrence or whatever? No, not really. No, not really.
It's not a common occurrence that people called Biden racist. When he said that if you're not black or if you vote for me or if you don't vote for me, you're not black. You don't think people made these accusations? You don't think people talk about like the crime bill and all this all the fucking time? What are you talking about?
They don't say that. So it's like, I feel like when you try to discredit somebody for the worst thing that they've been, you can do that for everybody, right? But it doesn't give a point any validity. It doesn't give you any free points. It doesn't give you any free points. You can do it, but if you keep doing that, you're just gonna sound like you're insane. What?
The Biden crime family? Okay.